I will demonstrate how to create an XtremeData DBX database cluster in Microsoft Azure portal. You will need to have an account first. So you log in. And then we'll immediately go to Marketplace. You can pull that down from the menu if it doesn't appear in the default list on the left. And within the Marketplace options, we will simply search for XtremeData, beginning with an X. And immediately, this pops up. We will choose the 2 to 10 node option. And it will describe what our database clustering option is. You can read that. We will begin creating one right now. We'll give this cluster a name. We need to give it a password as well. For the Azure user, this is the password you're going to use to log in as Azure user. Scroll down. We'll give it the same resource name as the cluster name. We're building in the West US region because that is where the storage account is that holds the data that we will use to create our database later on. So we recommend that you locate it in the same region as your storage account. We'll make this an 8-node cluster, and we will choose the largest machine that they have to speed things up. And we'll scroll down, configure the subnets, we'll stick with the defaults. It will then verify all the settings and make sure this is a valid cluster that can be built. It has done that. And we'll select Create. And then in the main Azure window, you'll see your cluster being deployed. It will take somewhere between 10 and 20 minutes. So I will pause the demonstration until it is done. Okay, the cluster has been built, and this screen will show up when it has been built. And so now we need to log into it. And in order to do so, we need to get the host name out. Public IP address down there, it says. And we can see that right here. And we'll put that into our PuTTY login window. And part of this is also Azure user is the login name. So we open. Say yes. We put in the password for Azure user. This is the system administrator login. In order to do database operations, we need to be the database administrator, DBX DBA. There is an initialization script here that will allow us to download the demonstration scripts. And in this case, we're going to be building a financial markets database. And we'll do everything and run all the queries. We'll do 2 days worth. This is approximately a quarter of a gigabyte or a terabyte. The first thing it does is it will build the database server. And then it goes and gets all the data from storage accounts, a single storage account, and it downloads in parallel to all of the physical nodes that we have in the system. In this case, that would be 8. Every physical node has 4 virtual nodes on it, So we end up with effectively 31 instances of the DBX software running in this 8-node cluster. We're downloading 2 days. It tells us how many virtual nodes. It tells us we're running in 10 parallel streams per node. It doesn't take long at all to download the data from Azure storage when you do it in parallel in this fashion. The data is sliced up. We recommend slicing it up to somewhere around 500 megabytes to 2 gigabytes per slice. And here you can see it coming down now. The first node finished. There were no retries on this particular node. 13 files. Downloaded about 215 megabytes per second. So the rest will be finishing soon. They're all reporting back. Some of them have retries. We will check at the end and make sure that all of the data downloaded, and it did. It matched, so it was a success. And now, since it's downloaded all the compressed slices, it is now decompressing them and loading them into the database in parallel. Now this will take a few minutes, so I will pause the demonstration until it finishes. Okay, the script finished running, and we can see the results in here. We can see the 5 tables, the estimated bytes that actually exist on the system, the estimated rows per table, the amount of time it took to complete each step. And then when finally that finished, we ran through some sample queries, and you can see those in the script if you would like. You could edit the build script and take a look at that yourself and see how the server gets built, the data gets loaded, and the queries get run. So that's a good demonstration of how easy it is to build a DBX database cluster in Microsoft Azure Portal systems. Thank you.